What a freaking game. Coming up just this short of the upset over Team USA. This is DNVR Nuggets. We were so close to this being a completely different show.
Wait, did we win?
We're back in the losers lounge.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the DNVR show.
Very confusing.
Who are you? We are in the Toyota Lounge, driven by your front range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. I feel like I got ran over by a Tacoma, but also like I was driving a Tacoma.
Like you were run over, but also, dragged by. Yeah. You went over the finish line. I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened, man. We're going to break it all down. Honestly, a fantastic game.
Yep.
Very raw emotionally right now. Felt like, we'll get through it all. We're going to break it all down. I got Brendan Vogt in the house.
Man, what a game. What a tournament it's been. Really,
it's been a great tournament.
It's been a great tournament.
It's been a real tour de force.
Hey, man,
really
it starts with tour. So
You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong. Tour. Great tournament. Great game by Team Serbia. And this has been an awesome showcase for USA for international basketball and Team USA, who has showed up and largely played the right way. This has been really good basketball, man. It's been fun.
And the bar was popping tonight. You forgot one piece of this. Great bar crowd tonight, man.
Great bar crowd.
Yeah. Man, it was like, you go away for school for the whole summer, and then there's like a meetup in the middle of summer. That's what it felt like. We haven't seen our classmates in so long.
Like somebody organized like a bowling activity.
Yeah.
We all showed up.
Shut up. Oh, my God. Over here's D-Line.
That's right, guys. Again, very confused. I'm going to work out my emotions with you guys together.
Yeah.
Can't tell if I'm angry, sad, upset, happy, elated, or just kind of dead. I don't know. We'll find
I think you're just kind of dead. And then over there, Big Papa himself, Harrison Wind.
I don't have any emotions to work out. I'm pissed, man. I'm angry. It sucks. So close to history, but in the end, like, this is one that's gonna sting for a while.
It was so close. That's the thing. It was so close from history, and honestly, it just the whole time. This is how my brain works. The whole time I'm just like, I don't know, man. It was always right at the line where I was like, a couple more stops and I'll start to believe, and they never got just over the hump of what I thought. I don't really have a fast breakdown, but I will give you a quick one, like just like a overarching. Steph Curry was on fire in this game. He's had a horrible Murray-esque Olympics until tonight, and you just knew it. You knew that Steph was going to be good for one. Unbelievable shot made. It literally comes down to if Steph just has a regular ass good game, 6 threes, Serbia walks away. But instead, he was absolutely unbelievable. 36 points and goes 9 of 14 from 3. 9 of 14 in an empty gym. That's hard to do. But of course, Steph Curry's capable of doing that. Serbia built a lead, basically just grinding out possessions. Their defense was unbelievable, playing so hard. I thought Jokic's defense in this game, especially in the first half, was unbelievable. And it wasn't anything sexy. I mean, there was some shot making. Avramovic was making some shots. They were making threes. But more than anything, I just felt like Serbia was chipping points. They just were like slowly building this lead. It got all the way up, I believe, to 17. Team USA started getting chippy, especially LeBron James. If you want to say one thing, everybody says the greatest team ever assembled, even better than the Dream Team. They had him on the ropes so much that LeBron, you could see in his eyes, was like frustrated and worried. Serbia drew that out of him. 54-43 Serbia at the half. In the fourth quarter, though, Serbia put USA in the bonus with 7 minutes. And that was really the story of the game, is that they fouled so much in those first ones. It's so hard to get stops, especially when you can't foul. And the play of the game, with Serbia up 9 points, Jokic fouls, and we're going to talk about this foul. He runs through Anthony Davis. Kevin Durant gets a wide open uncontested three and a foul. They get the ball back and make another three. It was Serbia had enough of a lead and was defending well. It was just don't give them anything easy. They get a 6-point possession. It literally comes down to that, and it gave Jokic his fourth foul. U.S. tied it with just under 4 minutes to go. Then they were up 5. I thought it was over, but Bogdanovic drains a really tough and one to cut it to 2 with 56 seconds left. But Kevin Durant hit what proved to be the dagger, like a 17-foot pull-up, his classic shot at the top of the key. USA just has too many players, man. That's really what it comes down to. They're unbelievable. When start us off, what's your big takeaway?
I mean, my big takeaway just from the game is just this game was right there for the taking. I mean, Serbia played a perfect first half pretty much, or as close to perfect as you could have really asked for. And they were up, huge at halftime. And I'm with you, Adam. In the back of your head, in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, all right, I don't feel totally comfortable yet. I'm not going to get too excited because the talent that Team USA has. I mean, it's just a ridiculously stacked team. And I'm proud of Serbia, for this one. A lot of people are getting on me for rooting for Serbia. How could you root against Team USA, man? The people that say that will never understand. And that's totally cool. They'll never understand what it's like to root and follow and be with Nikola Jokic for his entire NBA career with the Nuggets. They'll never understand the emotion and the passion and the feeling that comes with that. And that's okay. That's fine. And obviously going to Serbia 2 summers ago and all the friends and people we know there, that's why this means so much to us. And I'm angry, man. Like, this is a tough loss. I was really hoping for, Serbia to pull it out, but you got to be proud of them for the effort and for how they played this game.
D-Line, what's your big takeaway?
Big takeaway is that, Serbia had that. They really had this. This was winnable. This was a really winnable game. They really pushed the U.S. to have to try and learn a lot about themselves in a pressure situation, which is exactly what you wanted to do. Like, put a team that's completely untested as a team in a situation where they don't know quite where their bread is being buttered. In the end, LeBron James, Steph Curry come through in ways that we've seen them do a million times. But I mean, the emotion I think is raw right now, but I think that as the dust settles, there's a lot to be really proud of from the Serbian effort, and it doesn't feel quite like. This is why I'm confused. I'm obviously I wanted them to win, but I don't feel bad for them because they showed out so much. Even if they're still obviously in a great position to medal, which is at the end of the day I think the most important thing. But Jokic needs to learn how to shoot a 3-pointer again. Also, that would be nice.
Yeah, this was like Rocky 1. They went the distance. Sometimes that's what it is. It's like you had no reason to be in this game, really.
Right.
I mean, when you just look at just talent, but they made up for it in so many other ways. Played such a heroic, gutsy game, and Team USA is good for a reason. What's your big takeaway?
My big takeaway is I simply cannot believe that Vasily Micic closed this game over Alexa Avramovic. Avramovic had 15 points in 18 minutes at the half. He was 12 of 19 from the floor. I'm sorry, that's Steph's numbers right there. He was 5 of 8 from the floor, 4 of 6 from deep. 15
he was
points,
incredible
4
in
rebounds,
that first half.
3 assists in 18 minutes. And then I like that comment that says, "Cry, whites, cry." That's cool.
I know, cool. That's so cool.
I love.
What a cool comment.
I love it.
You gotta bat racism though. You gotta boot it.
He's already booted.
Oh, okay.
But I can't believe Vasily closed this game over Alexa. I really can't, because Vasily was not good. Obviously, talking Vasa here. If you're confused, 3 of 10 from the floor, 2 of 7. He does a lot of dribbling. Everyone else, it was quick. You're shooting a 3. Jokic gets the ball. It's decisive. Vasa was searching and probing, and he didn't have it. And I just, I don't know, man. I don't know 1/100th as much about basketball as Pesic does, but I was very shocked for Vasa to close that game.
Man, these tournaments are so tough. We even saw this with Canada. The sample size is so small that it's hard to know who your guys are. You know what I mean? You kind of just default to reputation and all right, this or that. So I'm a little more forgiving, I would say, of that, even though I thought Avramovic, more so than anybody else on Team Serbia, embodied Serbian spirit, not toughness.
Oh my God, dude, man, what a dog!
That dude was full dog. And really the last couple games, but in this one in particular, it was just the belief emanating from him.
Yeah,
I felt was the most powerful of all the Serbs.
Yeah. And they got a great game from him. They got a great game, from some other role players as well. Bogdanovic, 20 points.
Dude, Bogey was incredible.
Petrosev was fine. They got the games from the role players they needed to.
Yeah.
And Just couldn't close the deal, man.
Here's my big takeaway, and it's really one that would have been, I think, better for me had Serbia won, but it's still the same takeaway. You know, you tried to work out. You were talking about cheering for Jokic and how it is, and like how our loyalty lies there more so than Team USA for the most part. Although, you know, you do feel a little conflicted. But here's what it is, man. I love basketball. I love Jokic. I love basketball, and there's aspects of basketball that I absolutely love that the American game has gone away from over the last 20 years or so.
Yeah.
Now, I think Team USA has done an incredible job of bringing that back, and I think that they did something. But I always say, man, we all, and when I say we, I really mean Americans, NBA fans, we all view this game way too much as an individual sport. And because it is, and it's so fascinating, but the way we talk about it, it's almost easier to talk about it as an individual. Serbia played such an incredible team game, and it's not just about teamwork. It also is that basketball, like all sports, is not just about talent, teamwork, and this and that. It's also about belief and toughness and this other stuff that is everyone can recognize. That's why anyone can be a fan, anyone can really comment on the game. And Serbia brought just so much of that in a way that is like truly inspiring. Like when you see a real team play with heart and belief and toughness and resolve, it's like inspiring to watch. And unfortunately for Serbia, what is cool is that level of toughness and resolve and everything else brought that out of Team USA. They also had that. Now they had a bigger margin because of the talent, but they also pushed Team USA to become uncomfortable and do different things. And as a result, this whole tournament has been great because I think Germany does this. France played an incredible game. Australia does this. Like, there's a lot of teams that play that way, and this tournament has been fun. But Serbia, to me, the ultimate today team game. Jokic was great. He was the center of everything. It was just a great 10 guys believing on Serbia, just 10 guys believing they can get it done and were willing to like do anything it takes. And they just came up short, which sucks, but it was actually awesome to watch.
I mean, that's kind of the underlying spirit of the Olympics in general, is that like it's all of this training, it's all of this technical ability, it's all of this, that, or the other, the specifics of every event, every sport. But then when it gets down to it, it's the human element, it's the drive, the desire, it's the all of the storylines that are part of it. And it's, yeah, exactly right. Like, it's why sports themselves are so compelling, is because there's so many lenses to look through an event like this. Because you're like, it's like, okay, the coaching side, or this, that, like there's this angle, that angle. Curry wasn't going to let it fall through his fingers. Bogdanovich was fighting with Carmelo Anthony, but also was like, was so overcome by emotion. And there's just so much that's unquantifiable that you really makes an event like this that's so unbelievably supercharged with 8 million factors playing into it that makes it so compelling. And like, wow, I've never been so glued to the Olympics basketball tournament before this year. This is like incredible.
I think it's good now.
I think awesome.
There's always been like 2 teams besides US, but I feel like everyone is good now.
My dream of basketball being the number 1 World Cup sport. It's we're only 50 to 90 years away.
Yeah, at the earliest, I would say.
It felt a lot like a gold medal game.
It really sucks that it's not. I mean, to be honest, it sucks that it's not.
And credit to France. By the way, if you're wondering just how deep this USA stuff goes for us, no, I will not be rooting for France. But that felt like a gold medal match.
That has more to, does that have more to do with Rudy Gobert?
No, that's just the line. That's just like, it is,
PH and X pulling the plug on us.
It could have been. Could have been them.
That's what I'm going to go with. Guys, you could check out Indeed for all your hiring needs. Indeed, an awesome website that makes the hiring process so much easier. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. So much work goes into hiring people. First, finding the candidates, screening them, interviewing them, following up. Use Indeed to make that process so much easier. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, messaging, so you can connect with candidates faster and just make the whole process so much easier. Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites. according to recent Indeed survey. So listeners of this show, right now you can get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/AllCity. Go to Indeed.com/AllCity right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/AllCity. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire. You need Indeed.
You can bet on the Olympics. You can bet on, doesn't have to be basketball, but any basketball event really that's happening at Bet365, where it's never ordinary. At Bet365, they don't do ordinary. They think every sport should be epic. And right now it can be. New customers can choose between two offers when they open an account at Bet365. Use the code DNVR365 to sign up, deposit $10, and choose between either a bet and get offer, place a bet of $5 or more and get $150 in bonus bets, or a first bet safety net offer by placing a bet up to $1,000. And if your qualifying bet loses, you receive a matched refund in bonus bets. There's also the NBA early payout offer. You could win a bet if your team goes up by 20, even if they lose the game. You have to be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLE.
All right, we are back. Where were we, fellas?
I think we were mourning or celebrating.
Let's talk about Jokic's
I was
game
ordering
here.
some Rocky from the bar, actually. That's what I was doing.
Win, how do you analyze Jokic's game tonight? 17 points, 5 rebounds, 11 assists, 2 turnovers, 1 steal, 1 block.
Could have been better, for sure. Especially in the second half. Missed a couple bunnies that would have been big baskets for, Serbia when Team USA was mounting that comeback. But, overall, Nikola Jokic, he always plays the right way, and playing the right way in the first half when he was getting double and triple teamed every play and kicking it out to open shooters, that built, a 17, 18 point lead. And then that second half, it was still, a similar defensive strategy from Team USA, and those threes just didn't fall. So I don't fault him that much. He could have been better. He could have made some of those shots around the rim. His three-point shot has just totally deserted him this summer, and that's a storyline to watch heading into the season. But I can't be that mad at him, although he could have been a little better.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's just it. He missed so many bunnies.
Yeah.
I don't think they're bunnies. He missed one or 2 bunnies. He missed his threes.
He definitely
only missed
3.
4 twos. 2 of those I know were like
The
hand in the
threes
face
felt
falling.
bigger.
The 3 felt bigger, but every
wide
shot
open.
Jokic misses
Yeah, but
feels
more
like 5
close.
shots being missed because you just never expect him to miss anything. I'm with Wind. It's like, how mad can you be? But I think they maybe needed a little more of his scoring down the stretch when things were starting to slip away. Like, that's when you expect Jokic to step up and be the guy that can sort of right the ship, which Bogey kind of took over that role. Man, he was so impressive.
He's a
entire
hyper competitor, man.
He really is great. Like, I have so much respect for him coming out of this.
38 minutes for Jokic in this game.
Jeez.
Highest total out of anybody, clearly.
But yeah, I mean, Jokic was Jokic in large part.
Yeah.
I thought offensively it was just the threes, really. I think if he hits those, this is really a tremendous game. Only 5 rebounds. It was always going to be a tall order. Defensively, I thought Jokic was really good in this game. Down the stretch, Embiid got him, and he was attacking Jokic. Jokic had 1 foul to give, couldn't foul out. That was a problem. Embiid got him with a couple of those. But Jokic was really good and active defensively in this game, and I thought if he had just hit his threes, we're talking about this like any other Jokic masterclass. I feel like that was really what was missing. Other than that, though, man, I talked all week. Like, Serbia's best chance was getting hot from 3, and I think Jokic knew that too. Like, he could have taken heavily contested 2s all night long.
Yeah.
At some point, it was going to need to come down to them hitting open 3s, and in the first half, they did that, and they were up big. So I liked his approach, honestly. I liked everything except the missed 3s, and you're nitpicking the best player in the world here. So it's always going to sound a little ridiculous, but if you are concerned about anything with Jokic, it is the 3-point shot. I agree with you guys. It's been a long time now. It used to come and go, and for stretches, he'd be a 40% 3-point shooter, and right now it just feels way off.
Yeah.
But other than that, I thought he competed and took the right approach for sure.
I definitely didn't think any of them were going in, and that just kind of shows you where you are right now with his 3-point shot. It doesn't look like a weapon. He looks well below average for a center even. at shooting threes, and that's the one weakness and a hole in his game. And both in Game 7 against the Timberwolves, and this game reminded me of Game 7 a lot. Jokic has to play the whole time.
Yeah.
He was playing incredible, but there was definitely some fatigue in the back half of it where you're just like holding on for dear life. And then it came down to how many open threes could he make, and in both games the answer was none. And so it kind of felt like that to me.
Yeah, these two Serbia games versus Team USA in the Olympics were wild because in the group stage game, of course, you have Serbia playing the U.S. to a draw with Nikola Jokic on the floor, and USA wins behind a ridiculous Kevin Durant shooting game.
Yeah.
And then here, they don't play, Team USA to a draw with Jokic on the floor, of course, but you get the massive Steph Curry game.
Yeah.
So it's just like these two crazy shooting games from these two guys who, of course, capable of those. I mean, two of the greatest players of all time. Definitely like two of the greatest shot makers and shooters. It's just like it took those two ridiculous performances for Team USA to beat Serbia both times.
But that's the thing with Team USA. It's like somebody's going to have that game.
Yep.
It's going to be
that is 100% the thing.
Absolutely. They're
going to-
too good for somebody not to have one of those
Once,
games.
if
Too
it's
much
like
talent.
it's either Durant, okay, he's not out. It's going to be Curry, okay. Ant's going to have that game. LeBron's going to have that. Like somebody is
Well, it
going
was
to
LeBron
have.
literally every game.
I will say though, man, we talked a lot about like this general dynamic of the world catching up a little bit. And I think this still shows it, right? Like Team USA is probably going to win gold. But what had to happen? Like LeBron had to get on the phone with Steph and Kevin and say, it's not looking good, man.
Right.
We got to go back for one last ride and make sure we get this. Credit to them. And I've honestly found their whole approach to the thing like pretty awesome. But the point being, like, without Steph and LeBron today and KD in this whole tournament, like, I do think there's just something too, especially with the prevalence of the 3-point shot. It's just not a given anymore. And that even though Team USA has had a tremendous tournament, I still think that's been on display. Like the world is getting better, and anyone can get hot from three. And for Team USA, man, it was the old guard that's kept them in this thing. And when those guys walk, like Ant and Tatum, who didn't play today, like it's going to be on them. And I don't know if it's a lock every year. I don't know if it's a lock in 2028.
It's really about the top end talent. Just in general, it's like the U.S. has much more talent in general. Like they just have waves of people you can send, but it's like the top end talent in the world is getting
right. Giannis, LeBron.
Yes.
I mean, Embiid, who's now on Team USA, but like these international guys are able to go toe to toe with a LeBron. Even if LeBron is a better player, at his peak or whatever, they're able to go toe to toe. But it's the U.S.'s 10th best guy is also that level.
Yeah, it's the bench being able to, like the fact that Kevin Durant is coming in for the U.S. off of the bench.
Right.
It's like tells you what you need to know about how deep this team is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel. I mean, here's the thing I'll say about it. One of the things, we talked about this earlier, that I love about the Olympics is you really do get to see these like personalities to teams much more than you do get in just a regular league. You get this a little bit in college. It almost reminds me of college sports more than anything else. You get in college where it's like, that's a Big Ten football team. That's an SEC team right there. That's a Pac-12 team. It's like, that's how you get this in here. And the thing about Serbia that I would say more than anything, well, one, they're tall. They're a nation of very tall people, and they have a tall team. But two, they're just tough, man. And it brings me to the Nuggets. So much of how, again, so much we always look at, okay, well, are they missing this? They're missing that. They're missing this. I honestly think the number one thing Denver has been missing since Bruce left is just a team that plays with the belief and toughness and just like FU attitude that Serbia plays with. Now, I don't know if they can get to Serbia's level because honestly, that was an S tier, like dog in them, just belief and toughness. But I look at it and I go, when you watch that and you compare that to even Game 7 of that Minnesota series, it's so different. Denver just felt much more, like it was like they were tacticians and this was the game plan and we have to execute this or that. Serbia was like, it's a street fight.
Yeah.
We're going to just street fight these dudes. And Denver needs a lot of that. When you watch it and see it, you realize how much you're missing it.
And this is the type of thing where the Serbia is drawing upon so much about their own personal identity when they're playing a game like this. It's like you don't have to coach them up, and it's like for the Denver Nuggets, they have to find something that is external to. There's not anything that's at their core. They have to get this done as a unit. They have to find that. They had that in years past because they were the team. They were. I just came up with this. They were the hunter.
Oh, because what were they usually?
I'm gonna head off the show. It's been fun.
No, but like it's just like now they have to find that, and it was proven last year. They don't have it. Like, now that they have won, what is going to drive them? What is going to unite them? What is going to make them feel like they have a common goal that they will claw over absolutely everything to make sure that it happens? And that's the challenge, right?
Yeah.
What was so interesting to watch was, like, we know Serbia's brand of basketball. It's pretty much Jokic ball. Pass the rock, generate open shots, pass up good shots for great shots, play the right way. And that's how they played the whole game. Team USA, it felt, throughout these Olympics, they've played the right way. Like, they've been unselfish. Like, they've moved the ball. There's been a lot of cutting. It's been kind of the, Steve Kerr type of offense. But didn't you feel like they went away from that a little bit in the second half?
Yeah.
When they had the comeback? And Team USA kind of just went to, it's bread and butter, just more straight pick and roll, ISO stuff.
Yeah.
And they kind of just let their talent carry them to the finish line. But I know you were saying this maybe last week, but it's been so cool to watch the different styles of basketball at the Olympics. Every country has just their distinct individual style. And it was interesting how Team USA kind of reverted back to the American style basketball a little bit.
And for good reason. I mean, they have a team that is designed at doing that. And unfortunately, it was Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, the two primary culprits of this sort of game. I want to go back to one piece of this, though. Yoke, so I have two things about him. One is his three-point shot. And again, I thought Yoke just played an amazing defensive game. It was, and so intense, was doing so many things. But the three-point shot, and one other thing. Yoke has this in him where he would sometimes rather put himself out of position on things to try to get the call or to like be indignant. Like, I have a point, so I'm going to do something so exaggerated that's going to hurt us. And that 6-point play was an example of one of those.
God damn it, that
like,
6-point play.
I've watched Yoke long enough to know that was one he was trying to do, to try to be like, he's holding me, watch. I'll shove him down so you can see it. It's like, Yoke, no, like, you don't need that, man. They just have to make a ton of shots. Don't give them it. So it's a small thing. I can't say that I for sure think it was not, intentional, but I've just seen Yoke do that enough times where I'm like, not the time or place for this, Yoke.
It was kind of like when he tried to bait the shooting foul. And,
where he's like, by the letter of the law, I'm correct.
Like 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
That's 100% right, which happened.
It's the same
that
thing.
Turned into the Aaron Gordon rebound that actually turned out to be a great play.
Yeah.
Didn't this exact scenario happen where Jokic shoved Anthony Davis down into a shooter? I have like
that was Are you thinking of is either Monte or Facu? Facu hit him. Facu was
Anthony Davis.
That's right.
Facu, and he was flying.
Yes.
Facu just sent
Facu body
AD and Ben
Anthony
Simmons
Davis.
to the death.
Well, honestly, I think that AD kind of flopped on that one too, and I think that was Yoke's point, was like, this guy's holding me and now he's going to flop, and I'm going to exaggerate it to make you.
Of University of Colorado wants to help you and other Coloradans be your healthiest selves as the Chief Motivation Officer of UC Health's Ready, Set, Co-Challenge, Colorado Challenge. The goal of the challenge is to get Colorado back to its rightful place as the healthiest state this year. Chief Motivation Officer Prime, joined by his other personas, Nutrition Prime, Exercise Prime, Sleep Prime, Mindfulness Prime. Check it out. Ready, Set, Co is a statewide challenge to help all Coloradans be their healthiest selves. The challenge centered around, like I said, getting Colorado back to its rightful place as the healthiest state. The goal is to keep each pillar of Ready, Set, Co approachable. Little changes that add up over time. The 4 pillars: nutrition, exercise, sleep, mindfulness. It's not a boot camp. It's about making small choices every day, small changes, becoming just a little better for yourself today than you were yesterday. If you want to join UC Health's Ready, Set, Co Challenge, click the link in show notes or go to www.uchealth.org/Ready, Set, Co.
If you live in Denver, there's a very good chance that you need or want or should want a Toyota. You might be here for the smooth city streets. Get a Toyota. You might be here to haul the weight of the world. Maybe do a little farming. Maybe you're just a blue collar worker. Get a Toyota.
Like us, dude.
Maybe
Very
you want a
good
car you're really comfortable in going up into the mountains, even if it's winter. Get a Toyota. Maybe you want a zero or low emission vehicle so you can do your part in taking care of the environment. Get a Toyota. All of these are available to you, all of these options, no matter what type of Coloradan you are. you should be a Toyotan.
Yeah.
Toyotan?
A Toyota.
A Toyota. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe in Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of the Denver Nuggets and the official vehicle of DNVR.
I have a hot take. I'm going to turn into like hot take Adam for a
Let's
second.
go, dude.
Do it.
I have a hot take about Team USA. This game reminds me an awful lot of 2008 game against Spain. Another close one that came down to the buzzer. And the story of that one was how when the going got tough, who did they go to? Kobe Bryant, who took over. I actually kind of feel like it was weird at how this one, LeBron had a great all-around game, as he's had a great all-around game every single one. Steph Curry and Embiid, and then to a lesser extent, the last dagger, Kevin Durant. I don't feel like there is the one guy in the way there was in that Kobe one, but also Steph having his moment in this game to me is like kind of meaningful. Even though he's been terrible the whole tournament, it's kind of meaningful to me that Steph was dialed for this one.
Yeah, I mean, especially because you don't know if Golden State's going to be a true contender ever again with that core. Probably not.
Right.
In that one of the core is gone.
Right. I mean, yeah, that team is just not the same anymore. And yeah, I mean, this is probably the last like big Steph Curry moment, maybe,
It's kind of true.
of
All
his
these
NBA career.
All these other guys do have are on something of contenders, right?
Yeah.
You're right.
And I don't
Steph.
see Steph Curry as a ring-chasing guy who's going to go to another team. I bet he finishes his career
totally
in
will.
Golden State.
Murray for Steph?
Yes.
We can talk about that another day. But yeah, I mean, this is a crowning moment for Steph Curry. Absolutely.
I also thought, Steph, maybe we were kind of watching the beginning of a decline for him, not from being great or an elite shooter, but just a peak moments of Steph's career. It felt like he never missed, and it felt like they were all worth 5 points.
That's how it felt, man.
And we hadn't seen that in a long time. Today, they all felt like they were worth 5, and it felt like they were all going in just as he went up for it.
Dude, Serbia was up like 8 points, and Steph felt like he scored every time down the court.
Yeah.
I'm like, how is this happening?
How is this possible? So that, for me, was fun to see Steph. Not that I'm saying that Steph was washed, but you know how it is to go from the very greatest shooter the world's ever seen to maybe something less than.
Yeah.
And today, he was nothing less than. And would have been really fun to watch if it wasn't a huge gut punch over and over and over again.
But I'll tell you what, Jokic is a LeBron. Like, there's two molds of GOAT. One of them is obviously the Jordan mold. The other one of them is the LeBron mold. And LeBron tonight, triple-double, first of all, which is really impressive for how freaking hard of a game this was. And then on top of that, guarded Jokic in the fourth quarter. Like, they have Anthony Davis and Joel Embiid and Bam Adebayo. And then when the going got tough, they're like, LeBron, you got it, man.
Well,
we
saw that in the Lakers.
We saw it in the
series, too.
Lakers series. We saw all of that. So honestly, LeBron, I'm not trying to take this away and say he's not like what Kobe was, to that team. He was that more steadily throughout. But it's just interesting to me because we kept wondering who was going to be the guy. And to your point, it became kind of an ISO heavy guy. And the only guy that really delivered, Embiid made a bunch of jumpers, but Kevin Durant also. And it was just enough, which is kind of interesting to me.
Yeah. I mean, 36 points is crazy in a FIBA game.
I mean,
36 points in 33 minutes.
9 of 14 from 3.
Yep.
It's just insane, man.
And he had 8
insane.
rebounds.
And
I
that-
mean,
and that
plus
includes-
20. What a game from Steph Curry.
Yeah, that includes like a insane heat check too.
Yep.
Like,
Oh, yeah, he took one ridiculous
Gotta
shot
give him
that
his
was like
flowers.
whatever.
Got to.
And how it didn't go
It was
in, I don't
vintage
know.
Steph. It was peak Steph.
For Serbia, heartbreaker, because I don't know how much people will remember this game. I mean, I guess I don't know.
In Serbia?
In Serbia, I'm saying just...
Dude, this is a loss that's going to stink for generations, I think.
Yeah, I mean, because it was so close.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty close, man.
At the same time, listen, man, here's my thing. It was so close, but at the same time, this is... I said I had a hard time envisioning Serbia winning this game, and honestly, I had a hard time even envisioning this close. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
that's exactly it, though. But then once
everything-
you're there with 5 minutes left to go, you're gonna relive every mistake. It's
oh
like Game 7
yeah, dude, this
against
is going to be the Anthony Carter. Well, we're going to hear about that backcourt violation. We're going to hear about the missed Dobrich wide open 3. We're going to. It's like there are so many things that happen.
the
Dobrich-
wide open
the
3,
Dobrich
honestly,
three.
there's a bunch of plays that come down to like, man, if that
He's
one
been
doesn't go.
so good too. He's been a sharpshooter, man, and that.
I don't understand the call. The 6-point play is insane. Obviously, I don't understand even what the ruling was for the backcourt violation.
So I think in the NBA, they say it's like 3 points of contact: left foot, right foot, and the ball. And if you have one across, I think they say it can come back.
But how was
in FIBA? It wasn't, because he had both of his feet on the right side, dribbled the ball, and I think it hit the line, and they called it backcourt. But
the ball was touched by Kevin Durant.
I think what
was it
happened
not?
was it was touched and then touched on this side of the line.
Insane.
And then came back. So it's like a technicality, you know. It's like
insane.
that time the ball went off of Jamal Murray's finger in the Portland series.
I guess so. I would have
technically-
liked to have seen a replay of that, though. Like I'm
tough
very
one.
incredulous of that.
It was a tough one, but I'm telling you, at that point, I just felt like white knuckling.
Of course.
It kind of felt inevitable.
Totally.
You know, in some form or
I mean,
fashion.
I just think this is a game, in my opinion, that's going to go down in history as like one of the greatest Olympic games ever.
You think?
I absolutely think so. I mean, the comeback, first of all, and just the Steph Curry component to it, like his moment, and then, you know, the fact that it was against Jokic as well, and all the star power for Team USA. This is an all-timer, in my opinion, and like for my Serbian brothers, I think this is a loss that's going to sting for generations and generations, and like this is one that people are going to be talking about. You know, that game against USA, everybody's probably going to know what that is.
Bit of a redemption game for Pesic. Thought he coached a great game, played his guys the right amount of minutes. I mean, Jokic gets 38 minutes in this one. Bogdanovic wasn't he about the same, 31 and a half minutes. I think that's what was needed.
Yeah, I thought, again, I really think it's insane that Abramovich didn't close this game.
Well, outside of that, yeah.
But outside of that, I thought Pesic, I think all these guys acquitted themselves well. It was a really good team performance. We just got off of our joking about how Jokic is why it's all possible. That's still true, but let's keep it real. A lot of guys stepped up today, and I thought a lot of guys had a good tournament, had a good game. I'm not going to know Serbian personnel well enough to sit here and just bemoan rotations.
You know him pretty well, though.
All day.
I'm impressed.
I am pretty locked in,
Yeah.
but I just thought Alexis should have
watching, baby.
closed. I really do. But look, at the end of the day, I think we all said honestly, we had a hard time envisioning it even getting this close. And I think a lot of guys acquitted themselves well. That doesn't make it any easier to swallow for the Serbs, but I was impressed with a lot of members of the federation.
Yeah, like-
Serbia is the Spartans of basketball. You know what I mean? Like, this was a total 300.
Oh, this was a
versus
total.
million.
Yeah, they died, but like
They died, but it
but
was.
we'll sing songs about them.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, everybody played great for Serbia today. The Serbians were really understood the assignment, and the thing is that you're talking about this game coming down to the wire in a tournament where this is the third time they've played, and they got beat by 20 points in both other times. Like, they really, really wanted this. So, I mean, you saw it in Bogdanovic's face at the end when he was crying
God,
as he
I
was
love
leaving
his
the court.
passion, man.
Crying as he was leaving the court. Like, this is I would be I'm with Harrison. Like, this is a game that we're specifically on this podcast going to hear about for a very long time. There were so many what ifs, and the thing that sucks is that it did really just come down to like, all right, Steph, just go be Steph. LeBron, just be LeBron. And it just was, there was like an inevitability that it just like minimizes everything else that happened that in the end becomes true. And you're like, man, fuck. Like,
Let me bring it
I
back.
want it to be bigger than that.
I'm having an idea as I'm sitting here thinking about this that I think is, again, articulating what we feel about the Nuggets and what went wrong. The Nuggets, I think one of the things that's tough about repeating, once you've climbed the mountain, you know what it takes. And you know when you were lacking something that it took to get there. And I honestly think that is as much the story for the Nuggets this year as when they got into the playoffs and it was guys were tired and they weren't fully healthy and this or that. Like, what did KCP say? We thought we should have lost to the Lakers. That's not something they would have said the year before. They thought they were going to win everything. There's a belief to them.
It turns out just KCP always thinks he's going to lose to everybody.
A little bit of that as well. but I think that the belief factor is the thing that's so underrated. And I think that remember in that Wolves series, one of the things I kept saying was the Wolves are hungrier. And I think part of it is the Wolves don't know what they're lacking because they've never done it before. So in their mind, it's almost easier to have belief.
Exactly.
Because they didn't know that they were using the entire thing. I think the Nuggets knew at some point in that Timberwolves series, and in my hunches, it was probably in Game 6 when they lost by 40 points and Jokic was like, are you serious? I think the whole team just didn't have the belief. But belief is a funny thing. because we all understand the concept of irrational confidence.
Yeah.
And I think the Nuggets need an injection of irrational confidence. This was an irrational confidence game from Serbia, a nothing to lose.
Yeah.
We can actually do this. And just in believing it elevated it to being true. And I think Denver needs an injection of that. Hopefully Westbrook brings it, but I think some of it has to also just come internally.
God.
Yeah.
I don't want. Oh man!
What?
Just the idea of Westbrook's irrational confidence makes me terrified.
I mean, if you want a real optimistic view heading into the season, it's, Nikola Jokic uses this game as motivation. Jamal Murray hears all the noise from everybody doubting him heading into the season. The Nuggets as a team, they return as the Hunters.
Oh, we're so back to being underdogs. Are you kidding me?
Let's go.
Their under is a lot.
Right. If you're painting the
lot.
optimistic picture, you got a lot of different colors to work with.
dude, we love hunting.
I'm telling you, 51 and a half is a lot.
So hunting.
But here's the thing, man. One of the reasons I personally don't love this Team USA, even though I'm a very patriotic guy, these guys all hate Yoke, and they don't hide it very well. They seem to have a disdain for him. And you know who else is kind of on the outs that used to not be on the outs? Is Russ. Russ is another guy. So I do feel like there's a little bit of a, we all hate Yoke. We had to gang up on him. Now we're going to do the, suck my dick dance at half court at the end of this game, as Joel Embiid did on the end of this one.
Is that what that dance is?
Is that not what it is?
It's the DX chop, but you're not far off from the
Kind
spirit.
of the spirit of it, I believe, is
Yes,
trying to point
spiritually
towards
you are correct.
part of the body.
Yes,
Understand?
I've never heard it
To be
described in
serious?
those terms.
Yeah.
So, but
You're
I'm
not
just
wrong.
saying that there is something to Denver
It's
is
the
always
podcast
best.
name for it.
Why was Bruce Brown so dope? Because he was a cast-off. Nobody wanted him, and he
Yeah.
comes here and he's I just think Denver has a little bit of cast-off energy coming back to him this year in a way that's crazy. Where everyone was talking dynasty, including us last year. Now
think
it swings
we
so
led
far
that,
the other
yeah.
way of they'll never be good again, and it's kind of all right, there it is.
Dude, this is what you want, man. This is what you want. You want to always have that feeling of I think that hold on. Did we just naturally stumble into Inat?
I think we did.
As a
We're
podcast?
back. We're so back.
Dude, an Inat cast? Nobody believes in us. We'll show you. Oh, we'll show you.
Any final thoughts on this game? Oh, we should talk very quickly. Germany, France. France gets the upset, man. They pulled off a pretty major upset, although I think it was only 5 point. The line was only 4.5 or 5. But they look, man. France is really impressed in this tournament. That's why I love international ball. It happens in all of the tournaments. Group play is not the elimination round, and the elimination round, first round of it, the quarterfinals is not the semifinals. Teams really do try to hide an ace in the hole, and it makes for chaos, man.
Is it Lesor or Lesort?
Lesort, I don't know.
Lesort?
Lesort. He's awesome.
First team all dogging him
Yeah.
at the Olympics, dude. Who
Dude,
is
so many
this guy?
teams had dog in him this
It's
tourney.
unbelievable. I thought he actually was my favorite part of watching. And Cordonier, not to be confused with Fournier,
Yeah.
two different people.
Yeah.
Both heat checkers.
Yep.
But I didn't think France was going to make it this far.
No.
I had a French homie, Flo, friend of the show, talk me out of France. But he did say that things would be different if they benched Gobert. They did, and
No way, he called that?
He called it. I'll credit him for that all day.
Bro,
he called
there-
that.
There's nobody I hate in the history of life that I both hate and feel terrible for hating than Rudy Gobert.
Then Rudy, yeah, it's unbelievable.
I know.
But
He's cursed.
Chad says Lesor is a partisan legend. Go figure.
There
But
you
he's
go.
been awesome, dude.
Duh.
He's been awesome. So.
Everyone's a partisan legend.
Come on.
By the way, is this the first? This was the first host team to make the finals in a long time in basketball.
right?
I didn't
Really?
realize that. Yeah, I should look up how long it's been. Probably. But
That's
yeah.
crazy. Germany falling, but now the thing that sucks is I actually think France was a good matchup for Serbia. The way France has gotten into this in the elimination rounds has been by playing their big ass wings that just muscle the guys, and then you play Wemby at center, and it's worked. Serbia is too big for that. I think Serbia would have matched up well. Germany is kind of like Serbia. It's almost like
I
the
know.
U.S.-Canada match where I'm man, I don't know if Serbia has the advantage over Germany and team play and everything else. I think
don't.
that's going to be a dogfight for bronze.
Dude, it's a great game.
Thank you,
It's gonna be a
Kevin.
great game.
It's a great game. Those two actually match up very similarly, and if you look at the two sides, where their strength is, they have, you're talking about, they actually have size in areas kind of everywhere. Without Schroeder's probably the smallest player on Germany.
And he's so quick.
You mean
which is
Michael
tough.
Jordan?
Yeah, I mean Michael Jordan.
He turned into a pumpkin in the second half.
He
a
totally
little
turned
bit.
into a pumpkin. Yeah, it's and I cannot believe that France beat Germany. I just cannot believe it. But that's why
Wemby wasn't even that great in this game. I didn't think.
you don't
man.
really. That's weird. That's bizarre. Crazy. I've never saw anything like that.
No, they're honestly Yabusele and
Yabusele,
Lasort are
that's what I'm
unbelievable.
saying,
Yabusele's having a
dude.
tournament,
Yabusele
bro.
was incredible. Like that guy just got in there. He goes
I
for
love
it.
FIFA ball. I love
Me
it so
too.
much.
By the way, Yabu rocking the Dr. J fro with the high headband,
Perfect look.
high shorts,
great
while
international
built
look.
like a hippopotamus.
Dude, he looks like
Just felt
It's
like
like
a
an A+
hippopotamus.
he
basketball
looks like
look.
Ben Wallace.
Wallace, man.
Yeah, it's
I love
A
when
tier.
somebody finds their
S tier.
perfect look, man. He has the perfect look for
it's
him
so
in his
good.
game.
Do we hope Jokic comes back to Denver with his current look?
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I will say though, I feel like he needs to trim the part on the chin a little bit. It's like that part is like turning into its own.
Well, the problem is he can't fill it out.
but he's got to have the
That part just grows quicker.
right.
than
But he has
the
to,
entire
as somebody
beard.
who suffers or is blessed with the same affliction.
Right.
You got to keep the middle part not becoming its own piece. It's got to become one unit. You know. No ISO beard.
I see Aremius in the chat, and he says, I think we lose mentality. It's tough after this loss. I do think there's something to that. Like
the letdown feeling.
well, on top
potentially.
of that, I don't know if you guys saw the news, but the game, Mountain Time, 3:30 a.m.
What the?
Tough.
Such a tough break, man.
That's the bronze game.
The bronze medal game is at 3:30 a.m. on Saturday, which is really lame. And on top of that, it's lame just because that's only like 36 hours away after this game. So I think that does add an emotionally difficult follow-up. There's no way you could have the same feelings, even though the bronze obviously is a medal, which is very important.
It does also suck that this was not the gold medal game.
It's dude, who was doing the bracket? That's Team USA
Probably
and
some
Serbia.
French dude. To
There's
be honest,
honestly, there's a little. It's a little sketchy. That
just saying.
they had to play
A
him
lot of
twice.
people are saying it. A lot of people have said it. I'm not the
Oh
first.
my dude.
All right, we got to get into some super chats here.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Let me pull up.
Oh
God
god,
dang it.
Super Chat's gonna be a mess with this power outage.
Also, yeah, I can't pull them up, so Eric is just gonna read them.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. My computer's a little slow here, so let's see what happens. Feel free to riff while this. Okay. Number one
Crap,
here.
when are we going to do our
From-
show Saturday? We were going to do it as a post-game show, but we're not doing it at 5 in the morning.
We could do a ultra pregame show.
Man, we're going to have to figure that out.
Okay. 555-ish says that was an incredible game, worthy of being the gold medal game. Heard that before.
We should have, there should be a referee that just votes on which team should be the silver. They're
Yeah.
like, that's the second best
In the
team.
end, they
Yeah, we
really ought
like
to.
them.
They really should treat it like college football used to be, and then it just
BCS?
the coaches just vote on who gets the medals when it's all said and
They're all
done.
Serbia's the gold. Like, what? Lost to USA 20.
We award medals for heart. Watch USA roll over France now. Yeah, we will. After watching both Jamal and Jokic these Olympics, how do you feel better or worse about the same going into next season, or about the same going into next season?
Probably about the same.
Yeah, I think I feel. I mean, you obviously wanted to see more out of Jamal. Obviously, that is the biggest understatement of the year. But I don't know. I mean, like again, Jason Tatum didn't even play, so it's weird, man. It's a weird.
4
tournament.
years, Los Angeles. Jokic beating Team USA in LA would be crazy.
That would be cool. Lance Wilson, $5. Thanks, homie. Says, I'm very worried about Jokic's jump shot for next season. Scale of 1 to 10. How worried are you?
I mean, he could be bad again from 3, and he could still win MVP.
I know, it is kind of true, man. He's, to be
But
honest,
it would make things a lot easier.
to be honest, I just don't think he's a good 3-point shooter. So
I think it's toast.
No, but I don't think he ever really was. He did. I think he was a clutch 3-point shooter for multiple playoff runs, but he was never like consistently December, January, February. Every month he was
But
great.
can he get back to that?
I hope.
Big Honey, $1.99. Thanks, homie. We need Bogey in Denver. Please make it happen, Booth. I know. We do. Jason Cap, $4.99. Thanks, homie. Hot take, even in a loss, I think keeping the game this close will still only enhance the legacy of Nikola Jokic. There's something to that. I mean, really, like I was saying earlier, as somebody who's cheering very desperately for Serbia, like obviously I don't have the same pain of some of our Serbian brate watching this, but Like, I don't feel bad for them. Like, I'm proud of them.
That's kind of how I feel too. It is close because it was so close and it was right there. But the truth is,
but it's
man,
like they were dope, man.
They were really dope. They were really dope.
Like, absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. Mr. Exquisite Nugget, aka Cedric, $5, if you can believe it. If it was U.S. versus Australia, who knows how it would go? Jokic deserved gold. Vote. No, this isn't Cedric, by the way. There's more than one doing this show. Stay tuned. What? Sasha Hoffman, $4.99. Much love. Damn. What's a good game? Felt like Serbia had it, but like y'all said, USA, too many players. Proud of Jokic. I mean, I feel like that's got to be the lasting, feeling about this game.
Yeah.
Cedric Exquisite says, got to be proud of Joker. No, Adam, it's not Rocky. Wish you guys would also read super chats before the end so you can answer some of their questions. Win for you. Is Christian Brown a starter?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Trevor Yacht, $5. Thanks, homie.
Thanks, Trevor.
Josh Barnett from Down Under.
Down under.
$7.99 Australian dollary dues. Never before more devoted for another nation in a game like this, especially.
Devastated, I think.
Oh, devastated, especially after knocking off Patty and the boys. The top human deserved gold. Fuck Embiid.
Thanks, Josh.
It is funny. I know you have the whole thing about he is an American citizen. The point to me is only 2 countries now have not nationalized players, Serbia and Lithuania. And it is ironic that Embiid played such a big role on this. Because we keep talking about American hoops. Like, is American hoops, is anybody closing the gap? Well, if it weren't for their nationalized citizen today, they probably would have lost. But it happened. And now he plays France in the gold medal game, which is kind of weird.
Gonna be a lot of booze in that arena.
That is interesting.
I mean, come on. It would have been absolutely murder Wembanyama.
Again,
that's like the one guy
God.
that...
Again, it would have been even... I think it's lamer if he would have played for France, honestly. He should have played for Cameroon. Yes.
Yeah, he should have played for Cameroon. It would have meant so much to Cameroon.
Joseph Fisher, $5. USA, Embiid are the villains. Jokic is a true hero. Let's go. Listen, everything...
To us, yes.
Everything's about perspective.
Everything from our angle?
It's
those
that
are
great
the
meme
ones
where
I
it's like
have.
the same castle and mountain on both sides. And it's like our glorious hill. They're disgusting mound. Yeah.
That's all I have. You can read the other ones on the screen, Vote, if you want.
Big Honey, USA is cooked once LeBron, KD, and Steph retire.
I don't think that's
I'm not gonna say the-
One, are they going to ever retire?
Good question. They're not cooked, but I don't think it's a lock, man.
It's not a lock, but I don't think it's true. Like the next crop is like Anthony Edwards is getting a lot better. There's just guys, man.
They're still young.
There's
There's a
just
lot
so
of
many
guys.
guys. You just got to grab a guy.
Gotta
You know?
grab a guy.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the point I want to hammer home on this, though. Basketball is more than individual talent. I think the U.S. is...
Until the end of the game when it was individual talent.
Well, I mean, but it took both. This Team USA honestly played a very good... Like, they do a lot of things and much more fundamentally sound than they did in, say, 2006. Like, even though there was good players there. This team has a lot of that. But this is why basketball is so fascinating. I still think the NBA... and American hoops over the last 20 years is still like lacking some of these things. And then LeBron, Steph, these guys are pulling it back, and I hope it sticks. But we'll find out with Tatum and Anthony Edwards if they learn those lessons or not.
Yeah.
Cedric Exquisite, Joker for gold next Olympics. No, Kale, it's hashtag shut up and take my money. That was pretty good, actually. Cedric Exquisite part 2, the power hates you, Kale. / DNVR or God.
Yeah. The basketball gods are mad at
God
us
hates
still.
you, Kale.
We got to
Drunk Dickwell's burner.
We're back.
Love you, Kale. So close. The 15-point underdogs, led by the best player in the world, almost pulled it off. Speaking of dogs, joining a super team is the only way Embiid is ever going to win anything.
kind of a weird meme.
Yeah, it is a weird dude.
Maddox, Jokic the best in the world. USA need a perfect fourth this close.
They did.
Close.
They did, man. That's
USA's impressive, man. USA's impressive. There was some good hoops today on the USA side.
It was great,
I
man.
love this tournament.
I do too.
It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Dude, it's been
great
amazing. I cannot believe that you idiots took basketball in the 4th round of best Olympic events.
You know what's funny about
Yeah, I
that?
got a lot of questions about that draft.
Can you imagine though? Like we're like, all right, everyone has to get together, come to the bar. We've got
Badminton. First round pick. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
We gotta be there.
See, you know what the thing is though? Basketball has the thing is, the only thing is Olympics feels like still an offshoot of what basketball has going on. Whereas a lot
Except
of the
for
best
right now-
Olympic sports like feel like they only exist in the
Tell me,
Olympics.
dude. Tell me you haven't been locked into this fucking
I
tournament.
haven't though. It's so true.
Dude,
It's been the best part of the
This
Olympics
is-
by far. Yeah.
This really happened in earnest. I mean, look, Team USA, the Redeem team, is what got me first into international. Like I told you guys, I was very into that team. But the trip to Serbia is what opened my eyes to all the other countries and how important it was to them. And when you look at it through the lens, like even France, and we know this from Flo, of course, but even France, like they take it so seriously and there's so much pride. And when you see that, that's part of what makes it so great. I honestly think these tournaments are only going to get better and better. I think the U.S. is probably going to get it slightly worse. I agree with you that I think LeBron's special, Steph is special, KD's special, and well, I think the U.S. is going to be heavy favorites every year for the next foreseeable future. I do think that the margin just gets a little thinner, and in these tournaments, one and done, anything's possible.
Yeah, my hope is that the U.S. eventually is Brazil in football,
where everybody's good.
You
even if they're
expect
the best.
expect them to compete, but it's not. You're like they're not going to win every time. But
By
they're
the way,
like,
ironically, I do think that is what would make Americans care about American basketball more again. Like,
Yes.
once it becomes this thing, like, hey, we got to get back to like this used to be ours and it
Or,
isn't
like,
anymore. Then it's a little different.
it's more like it's more like if they don't win, like everyone is out of their minds pissed.
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
just like right now, if the U.S. would have lost today, they just would have been memed to death.
Right.
Like nobody would have been like, oh, it's all over for
but the
basketball
Brazil
here.
soccer team gets like tipped over when they pull back in after an early loss. It's like
That's what I
gets-
want. That's what it takes.
Well, Serbia, heartbreaker, but still proud nonetheless. Curious to see what the Serbs have to say about this one. We're going to take tomorrow off, but we will be back Saturday at some point. We might have to do a remote Saturday morning show or something now. 3:30 in the morning? Thought for sure it would be 10 o'clock in the morning. We do a noon show?
Yeah.
3:30? Who the hell set this time?
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that.
I'm going to be gone for a couple weeks too. So just if you don't like me on the show, it's going to be great.
Oh,
for
the
you.
show's going to get so good here coming up. Can't wait. Oh, we got a buzzer beater.
Kelly V, Jokic is a basketball god. Had the Rocky already.
There you go. Everybody, thanks for hanging with us. Hit that like button on the way out. See you next time.
We all silly like the mayor.